Good. A problem-free tour. That's what I enjoy. Now, just remember, this is a cave. It will become wet. When it becomes wet, it will become very slippery. So please, whenever possible, hold on to the rails for your personal safety. While in the cave, we allow one thing and one thing only. The taking of pictures. Photography is allowed. But no eating, no smoking, and no touching. Absolutely no touching of the formation. Those three things is bad news. And this is a good news tour.
Everybody hear you.
Okay. So, let's see. Okay, who's Pepino from Connecticut? You get one single file over to the right. It's not past Nino, he's from Connecticut. Come. That's right. Have your tickets. It's not the original entrance into the cave. This entrance was quarried out, blasted out. That's right, Sarah. Dynamite was at play here on that. It's about 5 years after this cave was discovered. It will make it around 1912, since this cave was discovered in 1907. But what that blasting has revealed, is that Bermuda is made up of limestone. The entire 21 square miles of Bermuda's limestone hills and foundations sits atop a volcanic sea mountain. Every time I say that, I see images of Pompeii. However, when it rains, the rain falling through the atmosphere collects carbon dioxide, becomes carbonic acid. Once that acid arrives here at the limestone, look there where I'm shining my light, there's a chemical reaction. It dissolves the limestone. It melts the limestone, creating solution channels of calcium carbonate. These channels then grew in shape and size. Channels became rooms, rooms became chambers, chambers became the crystal cave. Now we're going to be leaving this carpeted area. We'll be going down the bare steps and floors of the cave. They will become increasingly wet and very, very slippery. So please, everyone, stay in one single file over to the right as we enter the crystal cave. Where I'm standing, that's where you see the sinkhole. That's the sinkhole how the cave was discovered. Then I promise I will show you the original entrance to the cave.
Josh, let me take your picture.
Did you see the sinkhole? Did you see the sinkhole? Where is the sinkhole? Where is the sinkhole? It's right up there, 12 o'clock from where I'm standing. That's right. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Look, look. You see the sun like the daylight that's coming down the original entrance into the cave. A sinkhole 130 feet up to the surface, pointed out to the people coming behind you. Where is the sinkhole? It's right up there.
So can you climb there? Sure. You can be climbed.
Wow. Oh God.
Anyway, we are now approximately 140 feet down into the earth. That is from the surface of that sinkhole to sea level. This water you see here is ocean water. It is the Atlantic Ocean. This water enters the cave through underwater passageways, submarine passageways that now stretch over 3/4 of a mile to our east to the wide open Atlantic Ocean. In March 1907, 2 teenage boys were playing the game of cricket. If you're not familiar with the game of cricket, it is a game played with a bat and a ball, suffice it is to say, because after that the game becomes quite difficult to explain, and I don't have the luxury of time. They were playing the game of cricket at the surface, just south of where the parking lot is located. Their cricket ball disappeared down the sinkhole here. And like any teenage boys, they came in search of their cricket ball. Their names, Carl Gibbons and Edgar Hollis. Their ages, 13 and 14 years of age. Once they arrived at the sinkhole, they realized that's where the cricket ball had disappeared. So, they collected some stones, and then threw the stones down that sinkhole and listened to the sounds the stones made as they fell into the cave. They then said to themselves, and of course to each other, this is a deep hole. They then went home, collected a 130-foot length of rope, returned to the sinkhole, tied the rope around the cedar tree, and scaled down into the cave with nothing more than a small kerosene lantern for a cricket ball. A cricket ball they never did find. Just great. But they spent the next hour or so here in the ocean swimming. No longer searching for the cricket ball, they were desperately searching for another way out of the cave. And I'm a mind reader, man. I'm reading your mind and you're saying, well, how can they swim with a kerosene lantern? Well, they were not swimming with a kerosene lantern. They left the kerosene lantern right here to act as a beacon. They were not looking for another source of light, like the light coming down that sinkhole. Not finding another way out of the cave, they returned, collected their kerosene lantern, managed somehow to pull themselves back up to the top on that 130-foot length of rope. It was at that time these teenagers decided they would go home and tell their parents how it came about that they lost their cricket ball, their adventure, and the discovery of the cave. And in the words of any teenager, that had to be awesome. Now, that dripping water you see in here is responsible for all the formations in the cave. The continuous droplets of water from the ceiling of the cave first extend into soda straws like these where I'm shining my light. These soda straws grow and extend at a rate of 6 inches every 100 years. Once they become blocked by the calcium deposits, the solution flows on the outside, creating these icicle formations known as stalactites. These stalactites continue to drip the calcium deposits to the floor of the cave, and when that occurs, they form stalagmites like these. The stalactite, the stalagmite begin to reach towards each other, now at a rate of 1 cubic inch every 100 years. And once they meet, they form a column like this one. But bear this in mind, as we journey through the cave, that dripping water may drip on you. They're called cave kisses. That's right. Legend has it that each kiss entitles you to 1 day's good luck. 1 kiss 1 day, 2 kisses 2 days, 3 kisses 3 days, so forth and so forth. But you must not go searching for a kiss. The kiss must come searching for you. It's quite romantic, isn't it? You're feeling romantic? Okay. Well, everyone, hold your position. Hold your position. Once they leave, we'll be moving on. Find your sea legs now. Find your sea legs and watch your last step down. Right? together here. Move together. You all together. Okay. Then, if you're standing on the dock and you're looking forward, you cannot see because the person in front of you is taller. Politely ask them to exchange places with you, but not with the parents of these children. Or you move so you could see. The same thing applies to you on the pontoon bridge. The first inch of this water is rainwater. That's the rain right here, falling from the ceiling of the cave into the ocean. The fresh water floats on top of the salt water because fresh water is lighter in weight and density than salt. You have to go down to a depth of 10 feet to find pure salt water. Between the fresh and the salt is 10 feet of brackish water. That's a combination of the two. But the overall combination creates an optical illusion. It gives the waters a prism effect, which in turn makes the depth of the water, how deep the water is, very fooling to the natural eyes. For instance, you see here where I'm shining my light? Even between tides of high tide and low tide, you can go down to a depth of over 40 feet deep. Wow. There, over 30 feet deep, over 10 meters deep, which should serve as a warning to those of you wearing sunglasses on the tops of your heads or holding items loosely in your hands. Whatever falls in, stays in, and joins our ever-increasing collection of sunglasses like those Ray-Bans you see down there. Look how many sunglasses are there. Camera phones, watches, bracelets. You see that card? That is in fact someone's key to their stateroom on a cruise ship. It looks like it belongs to the Royal Caribbean line. That remains there, but hopefully they had a bon voyage. Hey. Now remember, when Carl and Edgar came into this cave, they only had a small kerosene lantern. Using your imagination, imagine that my flashlight is that lantern, and let's see if we can recreate the lighting they were exposed to back in 1907, which means lights out. Now I'll be turning them off gradually, not to frighten anyone out of their wits. Are you ready? Yes. Voila! Look at that. Isn't that enchanting? You see the color of this water that appears green in color, when in fact this water is just as clear as the water that comes out of your faucet at home. Now we're going to go from this enchanting atmosphere to a more eerie one. When I turn off the next set of lights, however, no flash photography, please. That flash in the darkness can damage the retina of the eyes, increasing the speed of macular degeneration. Blindness, that's right. Light can make you see, or light can blind you. And no one's going blind on my watch. Capiche? Capiche. Alright. Okay. So, here we go. From enchanting to eerie like this. Eerie. Oh my. Oh my. That is eerie. Could you imagine those teenage boys down here under these conditions? Their hearts had to be beating out of their chests. Their minds racing a mile a minute. And what would have been their reaction if suddenly that kerosene lantern had gone out? Mama, we're down in a cave! We're lost down deep in a dark cave! Unfortunately, no one would have heard their desperate cries. No one knew where they were, 140 feet beneath the surface of the earth. Now, many of the formations you see in the cave are indeed magical. They appear, watch, appear, disappear. Wow. Appear, then disappear. Here it comes, back to the surface, to the surface, to the surface, to the surface. The lost city of Atlantis has been found in the Bermuda Triangle. Up next, Flight 19, and here we have the Manhattan skyline. On the left, the Hudson River. On the right, Central Park. Here, St. Patrick's Cathedral. There, the Empire State Building, and just beyond it, at ground zero, under construction, rising up like a phoenix out of the ashes of 9/11 terror, it is the new Freedom Tower, the new One World Trade Center. Tower 1, Tower 2, Tower 3, Tower 4, Tower 7, and here, standing unscathed by that vicious attack is the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuge on your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. And if that doesn't deserve a wow, tell me what does. Wow! Oh, no, Nino, they're not going to abuse me like that. I've been abused long enough. If I don't get a more enthusiastic wow than that, I will unleash the dragon of the dungeon.
Wow.
His body, his face right there. I am the fire. And if you don't get wrong, I'm more enthusiastic than that. I'll open up Buffalo and I'll reduce each and every one of you to a heap of ashes. Now, wow! You just save your skin. Now, the surface temperature of this water, 69 degrees Fahrenheit, around 21 degrees Celsius. It remains constant all year. No matter how hot or cold it is on the outside, it remains the same. However, for every 10 feet you descend, the temperature drops by 2 degrees. It can become bone-chilling cold in these waters. Why? Because areas like where I'm shining my light down further, moving towards the east, cliff after cliff in your descent, you can go down to depths that exceed 200 feet deep. Now, you don't see any fish in the ocean. Simple explanation for that. No food for the fish. No sunlight. No photosynthesis. No organic growth like algae to support coral life to attract the fish. Now, these formations you see there, those massive columns and the stalagmites you see in the water, they cannot be formed in water, which means there had to be a period in time when the cave's floor was virtually dry. During the ice ages, the sea levels around the islands of Bermuda fell some 600 feet below their present levels, thereby draining the entire floor of the cave of water so that those columns and stalagmites could have been formed in a near dry environment. The last time the floor of the cave was dry, 15,000 years ago, during the time of the last ice age. Now, I know there is another tour group waiting to come onto this bridge, but I'm determined that every member of my tour group would see this cave from every vantage point. And if you follow my instructions with military precision, we should be able to accomplish just that. So I want everyone on the pontoon bridge, including those stragglers, to face me. Thank you, soldiers. Now, I want everyone on my left to move over to my right, continue to face me and form a single file here as much as possible. And now this group here, I want you up against the wall. To the wall. I need to see Nino. I need to see Nino right here. Thank you. Thank you. And this is what you're going to do. Come up, my friend. Watch your head. Come up. This group, you'll be walking this way. You'll be walking this way. You're walking down, you're facing this way. You're walking this way. I'm going to do what is known in military terms a column turn, a U-turn. Nino, you're coming out with me. But before we do, leave any questions, please. Not a single question. I could not have been that thorough, but if you say so. Nino, come. A U-turn, you're walking that way. Please. Yes, sir.
Falls in the cave building.
This cave? You mean this particular cave?
No, all of them.
There are over 60 caves in this system.
Oh, wow.
Of the 60, only 4 have been opened to the public. The other 56 you can only enter if you're wearing scuba gear. So that's one of the underwater passageways. It will take you that way. This one down here, another 1.25 miles to the north and to the south. To the north, you end up at Grotto Bay. To the south, Harrington Sound. All explored by scuba divers, elite scuba divers.
All the money. Wishing well.
This bridge has risen because the tides are coming another 1.5 inches. Once we go through that tunneled area where I'm strobing my light, I want you to keep your heads down, your eyes looking up to see the other stalactites at the end. Okay? So watch my example. Nino's going to follow my example. We're going to keep our heads down. Keep your heads down and your eyes up.